Well, hello there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope y'all had a nice weekend out there. It was just kind of a quiet holiday weekend around here. Lots of football, hung out with the cat, and just basically relaxed a lot. But anyhow, today I'm here to talk about the cooked food that I eat on a mostly raw vegan diet. Now, this is just mainly a clarification video because of all the videos I've done over the past 9 years. I talk about this quite frequently that I'm not 100% raw vegan. And any time that I'll forget about it and I'll somehow mention cooked, and somebody will go, "Oh my God, I didn't know you ate cooked food. I thought you were raw vegan. You say raw vegan." And I'm like, well, yes, I am mostly raw vegan. I mean, I'm not going to get that anal about it every time I mention it. Like, I'm 96.3% raw vegan. So like I say, this is mostly a clarification, but it also might give a little insight into people that are trying to get to fully raw in transition. It can just be like, if you're eating cooked food, if you want to be eating cooked food, if you're struggling with cooked food, just might be able to take a few tips from this. Now, when I eat cooked food, and here's another thing I think people like to think in all or nothing, and I don't really fit into categories, and that makes it tough sometimes explaining things to people, doing a channel or whatever. Because I do notice that there's the camp that is raw food, and that is their Bible, that is their God, that is their religion. It's all about raw. They don't care that much about nutrition. Some of them actually do, but still the focus is it's all about the raw part versus the whole food plant-based and the nutrition of it. I mean, honestly, I just like to bring the message of a whole food plant-based diet because I think that it's more realistic thinking to think that more people are going to be, will be interested, will listen to a larger message like that. But just getting back to how I do it myself and how it might help you, and how it also too, even if you're trying to be fully raw, if you're in transition or whatever, and even if you feel like every bite of cooked food you eat is a fail, cooked food is the devil. I heard somebody actually post that somewhere the other day, the drama of that. But whatever your thoughts on this might actually help you a little bit, that anybody out there that is eating cooked food, don't just be willy-nilly about it. I'm most certainly not. And one thing too that's never happened to me either is I hear the whole slippery slope argument, like, okay, yeah, but then you eat a bite, and then you eat two bites, then you eat a little bit more. No, I've always been kind of, just straightforward with how I eat, and it just is what it is. And it isn't what it isn't. Like I say, I'm not just willy-nilly eating any sort of cooked food out there. For me, it is whole plant-based foods. So when I am eating cooked food, 90% of the time at least it's sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. I will eat the occasional russet potato, but it's generally sweet potatoes. Orange sweet potatoes, and recently I've been getting some good purple sweet potatoes. Now, how do I eat those sweet potatoes, you might ask? Do I just eat a plain sweet potato? No. Most of the time, sometimes I do. Sometimes and jumping ahead a little bit, I'll also eat legumes. I probably, if I had to think of an average per month, I probably eat some legumes, cooked legumes, maybe once a week, maybe a little bit less. So maybe 3 or 4 times a month I'll eat legumes. Maybe 3, 4, 5 times a month, somewhere in there. So every once in a while I will have some sweet potatoes with some black beans or with some black-eyed peas or whatever. But most of the time, and I feel this really is a great combination when I am eating some cooked food, is to eat it with the raw. So like yesterday, had a big salad. One of my big salads that I share in my what I eat videos all the time, what have you. Same big salad, no smaller, no less, with a couple of sweet potatoes on there. Sometimes I'll put a couple of sweet potatoes on my salad. Sometimes I'll put one on there. Now that might seem odd to some folks. It just seems weird the way it looks, but I don't mind just mixing my food all together. If that sounds a little odd, eat your sweet potato on the side, but I just put it right into the salad and mush it up, mash it around. And when I eat like that, I feel like it just keeps my digestion going. Because, I mean, occasionally I will go to a restaurant or something and eat some cooked vegan food. Or occasionally I will say, I feel like having this or whatever, rare occasions. And I do notice that certain vegan food will slow down my digestion. It doesn't mess it up, but certain will slow down my digestion more than others. When I'm eating like when I'm eating a sweet potato or something like that on top of a salad, not a bit of difference in the digestion part of that. So the one thing I would say, like I say, make up your own mind, be 100% raw, don't ever eat a bite if you're transitioning there or whatever. But the takeaway from this that I would just want to stress is, if you're eating cooked food, be a little bit more thoughtful with what you're eating. And don't look, I think this gets a lot of people in trouble too, by demonizing and thinking all this cooked food is the devil, cooked food is toxic, it's poison, it's going to kill you, this and that. I think a lot of people that are raw and that are really trying to walk that straight and narrow and be totally raw, it's kind of like, I think their mentality is almost kind of like when I used to yo-yo diet, when I drink and whatever. If I'm going to go off my plan, I might as well go off it real bad and eat something. So I think a lot of people, when they stray away from eating a raw food diet, they tend to eat more of the junk food, more of the things that tend to dehydrate our body. So they tend to eat more of the cooked food, things that don't digest as well. I'll tell you this, and like I say, just my experience, not telling anybody what they should or should not do. The little bit of cooked food that I eat, I think, without just really revamping everything I do and kind of totally revamping, I could not eat any more cooked food than I do, the little bit that I just add in, like mixed with my raw, because I find that I have to drink a lot more water, or I have to hydrate a lot more, and it just kind of throws me out of balance. But when the things that I eat, I don't feel any interruption in how I feel, in my digestion, my energy level, any of those kind of things like that. So once again, like I say, I don't want it to sound like, I'm being wishy-washy with this, but I like to be as accurate as possible doing these videos. So that is really what it is. I eat a little bit of cooked food on a mostly very high raw vegan diet. And I'll go for days at a time, sometimes a week or two, and I don't have any of that cooked food on there. It's just like very much, I'm kind of like a big kid. When you've never been married, you've never had kids, you've just always kind of been a vagabond, whatever. I've just never really grown up. I eat like I want to eat, and I do things like I want to do them. And I don't like to be pinned down by rules. So, I've never I just never, if you go back and maybe even go back to the very beginning of my videos, I mentioned when I was living in the tropics that I was never interested in the raw aspect, the fully raw, being fully raw. That just never really interested me. I got into this lifestyle because I had abused my body for decades. And I was scared what kind of health results I was going to get in the future. So this is for me. I do the videos. I like to share this, but I don't like shape how I eat, what I do, craft them for a video. This is what works for me. If it don't work for you, God bless. I mean, I think there's just, whether it's food or whatever, there's too many people out there in the media, on YouTube, in Instagram, social media, telling you what you should do, how you should do it, how my way is better. I'm just like I say, this is just a channel of me sharing and showing what I do. And that's just not a vibe for me, and I don't resonate with people that tell you what you need to do. If anything, if I died tomorrow, I hope one thing this channel would teach to some people is to empower them to think for themselves, make decisions for themselves, and not look to other people so much, and not be influenced by other people so much. Get information from other people, and I'll for the 10 millionth time, I'll use what a Bruce Lee philosophy is like: take what you can use, discard the rest, and move on. We don't need to sit there and talk about like, well, I don't want to do this because. Okay, you don't want to do this, move on. You do want to do this. Let's say I put out a body of work and you find 7 things in there you can use, you find 4 things in there you don't want. Get rid of those 4 things, take the 7 lessons, move on. Bing, bang, boom. It's very simple like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm always going to be a little irreverent about this raw thing, because just simply for the fact that some people take it so seriously. And that's just where my mischievous brain goes. When people take things very seriously, I like to be irreverent about it. Probably would have been a good stand-up comedian. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this. Now let me throw one more thing in there, because I did add in there, I eat, it's mostly potatoes, about 90% potatoes, a few legumes. And then sometimes an odd one is I like to either, I usually will steam like a head of cabbage, or I'll steam some Brussels sprouts, something in that cruciferous family, and I'll also put on my salads as well. So that's pretty much those 3 things, the potatoes, the legumes, and say steamed cabbages or broccoli or Brussels sprouts. That's pretty much it. So, ooh, if that cooked food's going to kill me, well, then I'm going to be dead here soon. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you here tomorrow or Wednesday. Peace.